speak. Okay, so the association here, and who can we generalize it to? So can we say cause and effect, and who can we say this about? So two main things. We saw that there was no random sample and there was no random assignment. So with no random sample, I can only say this for my second period stats class. And there's no assignment, so I can only say that there's an association. There's some sort of link, but it's not, you listening to music and GPA is not a cause and effect relationship. All right. So trying to just narrow in on how, if you are wanting to have a cause and effect relationship, what do we need to do? All right, let's see how we did on number 2. Select a random sample of students from your school to participate in the study. Ask them whether or not they study with music on, and divide them into 2 groups based upon their answer to this question. All right, so did we randomly sample? Yes. We selected a random sample from our school. Did we randomly assign them into our 2 different treatments, as if this was an experiment?
No.
No, we asked them whether they do it or not. So no random assignment. Okay, so what can we say about our yes random sample? That means we can say this is for everybody at our school. Since I did a random sample, I can generalize this to now my whole school, not just the stats class. So when you do a random sample, it helps us actually talk about the whole population. So like if I'm randomly sampling the city of Bryan for like some sort of vote or something, I need to actually get a random sample so it represents them. That can be stratified, cluster, SRS, or whatever. So my conclusion, I'll say for, and then since it was a random sample, I can say my students at the school. So for the students, I guess we'll say at my school. So for the students at our school. But then since there was no random assignment, it's basically just an observation. I can only say that there's an association between you listening to music and GPA. So for the students at our school, there is an association between studying with music, studying with music and GPA. And I told Alyssa that I would, slow down my writing to have better handwriting, but then I just want to write.
On the next one.
I want to write fastly, Like I don't want to take my time. Just fastly. That's a new word. We don't care about just Lisa Prejean, grammar. She can just take it away, whatever. All right, sweet. So that's that. Let's look at number 3. So, see what we got. Get all the students in our stats class to participate in this study. Randomly assign half of them to listen to music while studying for an entire semester, and the other half have to abstain from listening to music while studying. And we're going to compare their GPAs at the end of it. So, random sample would be no. All I did was get the people in my stats class. But did I randomly assign? Yes. So like I randomly put them half into one group, half in the other. So I'm doing an experiment here. I'm not just observing. I'm doing an experiment, and I gave half of them music, the treatment, half of them no music treatment. Okay, so like what our conclusion would be. So we did a study and we found a link between having music and GPA. So our conclusion. But since there's no random sample, I'm only going to say this for the people in my study, which was stats class. So for the students in stats class. So I can only tell it about those people, but then there is like a cause and effect here. So I can say that when I find that music causes your GPA to increase or decrease, so let's see, I can't remember what we had here. They said listen to music significantly lower the mean GPA. Who didn't listen to music? Okay, so students who listen to music have a lower GPA than those who didn't, is what we find on these things. So when I did this study, I randomly assigned them. So for the students in my stats class, listening to music causes you to have a lower GPA than the other one. So I'll say for the students in my stats class, listening to music causes a lower GPA. So that would be listening to music, I guess. We're in the studying realm. Listening to music while studying. Oh, and Jay Lee, I didn't slow down my writing, I just went fast. Dang it. It's also hard to write on the smartphone.
Be slow on this next one.
Okay,
Last
alright,
time,
alright.
this time.
Finish out strong.
Yeah.
Alright, so for the students in the stats class, listening to music while studying caused a lower GPA. But I can only say that about you in my stats class. So it doesn't really tell me that much. It just told me about you, but that doesn't mean it's going to tell me about my next stats class or my geometry class or whatever. Alright, and then let's look at our last one. So number 4.
Slow down.
Slow down my writing. Is there a random sample of students from your school? You randomly assigned half of them to listen to music while studying, half of them not to. Alright, so
There you go.
look, I'll even do all caps.
Oh.
There we go. Maybe that helps me be cleaner. No, yes, no. Oh, sorry.
Wait, yes.
Dang it. Dang it. I was concentrating so much on my handwriting that I'm not even thinking about what I'm writing. Alright. Sweet. Yes, we randomly sampled. Yes, we randomly assigned. We got a random sample. So we can conclude this then, because we randomly sampled, we can conclude this about everyone at the school. And then I can say listening to music while studying caused them to have a lower GPA. So let's see. For the students, I'm really not trying. Okay, I'm just so focused like I don't even know what I'm writing because I'm trying to draw. Okay, so for the students at my school, listening to music while studying causes a lower GPA.
Looks good.
The video people are gonna think that
They're
they
just gonna
slowed
put it on
down.
like 2 times.
Yeah, they think they slowed down their speed on their video there or something. Alright, see, but I don't think that's
It's
really
not-
it's not that much cleaner.
Yeah,
So I
it's
just need to
cool.
write fast. It's fine. Okay. Alright, for the student, well, the other thing is like being a right-hander on this board, like if I come over here, like now I'm like blocking the light and you, so then I have to write with my arm like this and like.
And you can block the view. You only
I'm just
can
trying
write
to
on the
defend
next
my
one.
handwriting here. Alright, so.
See if you can write fast at the end, like neatly, or you're just blocking the view.
Oh, I don't get what you're saying. Like this.
We can run some more tests.
No, see, then I can't see what I'm writing.
Yeah,
No,
true.
this is just, it's a dilemma.
It just is what
It's fine.
it is.
Yeah. Alright, so the idea here is what's the effect of yes or no random sample? What's the effect of yes or no random assignment? So random sample helps you extrapolate past the people in your study. And if you're not randomly sampling, you can only say that about the people who were in your study. If you randomly assign, you can kind of show some cause and effect. And if you're not randomly assigning, like if you're just doing like an observation, you just see an association. That's the main thing. Okay, so that's like our big idea there, is that you've got random sampling. So what did I say? Random sampling. If you do it, it allows you to generalize to your population, basically. So random sampling allows to generalize to population. So if you don't, if there's no random sampling, you can only say it about the people in your study. So I guess I can write that too. So if no, then only can say for people in study. Alright, and then random assignment. See, and then sometimes I go for like this sort of like cursive print mixture, like, so then it gets messy. Alright, random assignment. That helps us do some cause and effect. If not, you can only say that there's some sort of association, but if you do randomly assign into one treatment versus another, then you can show a cause and effect. So random assignment means cause and effect. It would be like, if no, then association. So kind of as mentioned earlier though, with the random assignment, so like on a super obvious one, like where I'm going to put you in danger, like smoking, or I'm going to randomly assign half of you to be on your phones texting or watching a video driving the next 6 months, and the other of you don't. Like you're not going to do an experiment where you're putting people in danger. So randomly assign is we can observe things like smoking, or like were you like watching a video while driving, and we can see if there's a really strong association over many trials, like smoking over years, then we can start saying that there's a cause and effect, but only when there's lots of evidence and association. Alright, so let's look at these, and then once we do these, on the second half of the day, we're just going to do the 4.3 homework, which was actually from the quiz. I just made it the homework. And then the multiple choice, chapter 4 multiple choice. Okay, so when an athlete suffers a sports-related concussion, does it help to remove the athlete from play immediately? Researchers recruited 95 athletes seeking care for a sports-related concussion at a medical clinic and followed their progress during recovery. Researchers found statistically significant evidence that athletes who were removed from play immediately recovered more quickly on average than athletes who continued to play. What conclusions can we draw from this study? So the conclusions thing is did we have random assignment and did we have random sampling? So, did we randomly assign them to get off the field immediately or not? That'd be like a no. And did we randomly sample? I would say that we just found 95 athletes at this medical clinic. So I would say there's no random sample there either. So the conclusion that we can draw is that for these athletes in the sample, there's an association. So that would be what we say. So for these 95 athletes, there is an association between, let's see, removed from play and recovery. So there's an association between recovery and how quickly removed from play. Alright. Would it be ethical to conduct an experiment to answer this question?
Like, random.
So like randomly assign whether they get removed from the field immediately or not? No. Like we can't just decide when to let some of these keep playing on the field longer and some of them to come off immediately. So that's just ethically, that's just an obvious like no. So no, basically that would be like random assignment. So no, can't decide to let some keep playing and others not. So that's the idea there of who can we make this conclusion about and what can our conclusion be, and then kind of an example of like an ethical side of it of like, well, it doesn't make sense to do an experiment on this, so how can we come up with enough information? So like with this study here, like for us to actually be able to say cause and effect with like concussions and stuff is we need to help like remove any of these confounding variables that could otherwise do it. Like, oh, we removed them from the field at different times, but our treatment after that was the same. We had them stay in a dark room for like a week. Some of them didn't go out and keep going to practice the next day, and some of them not. We made sure all of them got same treatment after that, except for the fact that some of them got off the field quicker than others. So that's kind of, when you can't randomly assign, you at least want to control the rest of the experiment to be the same. That's the idea. All right, so who can we generalize it to? And then what can our conclusion be? It's kind of the gist of the third section of like the 4.3 section of this chapter. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna leave you time for the 4.3 homework and the chapter 4 multiple choice. So you got a test on Tuesday. The test is like you'll get a taste of it on the multiple choice questions of like, can I identify, is this a cluster? Is this a blocking experiment versus matched pairs? So it'll be kind of like those, and there'll be some free response where you need to kind of write out the steps you would take on it. So yeah, we'll just leave it at that. Give you time from there. And that'll be good.